Hey guys, Nick Saxophone World coming at you with a gear review. Today we're going to take a look at the Shape Your Own Sound tenor mouthpiece. Okay, so I had the great fortune of going to the NAMM conference in Anaheim, California this year, which was a fantastic experience. I went to hang out at the Key Leaves booth and do some interviews for my Everything Saxophone podcast, and it was just incredible meeting people from all over the industry, just really connecting with the people that love saxophone as much as I do and as much as you do was just an awesome experience. But enough about that. I'll make another video about my NAMM experience. I want to talk to you about the only thing that I came home with, which was this Tavon Pennicott model Shape Your Own Sound 3D printed mouthpiece. So if you guys don't know about Shape Your Own Sound, they are a French company that's really making waves in the saxophone world by making these amazing 3D printed mouthpiece. They've got an incredible lineup of artists that use their products, and they're really just revolutionizing the world of the traditional saxophone mouthpiece, which has kind of been the same for years and years and years and years. So as I mentioned, this is the Tavon Pennicott model. If you're not sure who Tavon is, he is Gregory Porter's saxophone player. He also has his own records. He's an incredible player, somebody who I've been a big fan of for a long time. So when I went over to the booth at NAMM, this was one of the first mouthpieces that I tried. So I immediately loved this mouthpiece. It has this awesome combination of power and warmth. I am definitely a tenor player that likes to have kind of a dark sound as opposed to a bright sound, but what I always used to struggle with other mouthpieces was how do you keep that warmth but be able to project to the back of the room? And I really have to say that this mouthpiece solves that. You can play this as hard as you want to, the sound never spreads or changes, and it really gives me that combination that I was looking for. So this has been my primary piece since I got back from NAMM, and I'm just loving it more each day. Now, I actually got to hang out with Tavon a little bit at NAMM, and he was telling me about the mouthpiece. We did a quick interview, which I'll link to, but this thing is awesome, and he was telling me about the mouthpieces that he used to use and why he feels like this is going to be his go-to mouthpiece from here on out. So let's take an up-close and personal look at this particular mouthpiece, and then I'm going to give you some clips of me playing it and compare them to other mouthpieces that I've used. Alright, so let's take a closer look at this. So first thing I want you to know is that it is a 9-star tip opening. So it's a really large tip opening, but it doesn't feel too large. So I come from the world of playing like a 7-star to an 8-star, and I have to say that the tip opening on this is not majorly bigger than those other ones, or at least it doesn't feel that big. I have not measured the actual tip opening myself yet, but I will do that at some point. So it's your traditional kind of chamber. It's a nice big open round chamber, no baffle. And that's really important to me. I'm not somebody that really can play with a baffle very easily. So there's zero baffle in this. It just kind of opens up into the chamber. But look at this. I don't even know what to call this. This is like a little ridge system. And what Maxime and Pauline from the company told me is that this is designed to increase the power of the mouthpiece without making it brighter. And I've got to say, that it works because I've never played anything like this before. So this ridge system, I don't know how they designed it or what they did, but I gotta tell you, it definitely does do what they claim it does, which is pretty cool. So again, we've got a big open chamber, no baffle. We've got this little ridge system that is meant to increase power without increasing brightness. Now you also notice that it's not hard rubber. It's made out of some kind of plastic composite resin. And they also told me that these mouthpieces are completely indestructible, which is kind of cool as well, right? So you don't have to worry about dropping your mouthpiece on the floor and having your favorite mouthpiece ever chip on the tip or anything like that. Now, it does come with a mouthpiece patch, which I love, but I also played a couple without these patches, and it doesn't vibrate through your jaw like a normal hard rubber mouthpiece ever. So even if I didn't have this, I think that I'd be able to handle some of the vibrations, which I have had trouble with in the past. So you can see big S on the top, shape your own sound. We've got the Tivon Pennicott model going on here. Let's talk about the ligature for a second. So it is a ring ligature. I tried this with some other ligatures and it did not respond as well as with their ligature on it. Now that makes sense because you have the maker of the mouthpiece actually making the ligature. And again, what Maxine told me is this was kind of just a one-shot deal. Their designer decided to make a ligature to go on the mouthpieces, and it came out perfect the first time. So this is what they use. Now you can also see these signature crazy color combinations. It's like a canary yellow mouthpiece with this pink ligature. You can get whatever color ligature you want, but I kind of dig this. It just adds a little bit of fun to playing the saxophone. We're so used to just having one of those black hard rubber mouthpieces. That's what we've seen forever. These are really fun. So I really dig it. This is our close-up look at the Shape Your Own Sound mouthpiece and ligature. Very, very easy to use as well. I use a bass clarinet mouthpiece cap for this because it doesn't actually come with a mouthpiece cap, and that's a big concern for those of us that, you know, need to leave our horn on stage during break or something like that. If you want to walk away for a few minutes and not let the reed dry out, I find that a bass clarinet cap goes really well over the top of this. Okay, so there's our close-up look at the mouthpiece. Now I want to talk about what I notice in sound and feel. And to tell you the truth, it really is the feel of this mouthpiece that made me come home from California with it. The sound is kind of the same. You know what I mean? I still sound like me on this mouthpiece, but it's the feel that really brought it home for me. So what do I mean by that? I mean the feel of the mouthpiece when you actually play, when you're actually playing the mouthpiece. What does it feel like? That's such a huge thing for saxophone players. And I feel like this makes it almost effortless to have a really nice sound. Now the other thing I noticed, and I'm not really sure why this is, I was able to put this on my neck a lot further than my other mouthpiece, if that makes sense. And that really helps me because the shorter the saxophone, the better the response is when you're actually playing. So I don't know if it's due to the larger tip opening that my pitch went down, or if it's due to the large chamber, or maybe it has to do with that little ridge system that they have on the inside. But I was able to put this about a half an inch further onto my cork than my other previous mouthpiece. So really digging it. Now the other thing I've noticed is this gives a little bit of a sizzle to the sound that wasn't there on my own mouthpiece. So it's not necessarily brightness. That's not the term that I would use, but it's a little bit more resonant. Now, as I said when we were looking at the close-up look, I said that normally I always have to use a patch on top of the mouthpiece, but on this one it didn't bother me as much. So I think that has to do with the actual physical material vibrating a little bit less, and that transfers those vibrations directly into the horn. Now, I don't know, I could be speaking completely out of my butt here, but that's the way I feel about it, and I feel like it does give the mouthpiece just a little bit more sizzle than another mouthpiece that I have used in the past, if that makes any sense at all. Hopefully it does. Now, one other thing that I noticed about the mouthpiece that I really feel like is worth mentioning is that it really helps my reeds, meaning that on previous mouthpieces, I've had a case full of 8 reeds and only 2 of them would play when it came time to play a gig or practice or do whatever. It was really finicky with the reeds. With this mouthpiece, I find it takes soft reeds, it takes hard reeds, it forgives a little bit more the inconsistencies that I find and that we're also used to as saxophone players. It forgives those inconsistencies. When I was playing on this at NAMM, I went over to the booth and I played this on all 3 days just to really make my decision on whether to purchase it or not. I tried the softest reed in my case. I tried the hardest reed in my case. I even went over to some of the reed booths and grabbed some brand new reeds as samples, threw those on, and just started playing with a fresh one straight out of the box, and those played great as well. So if you're really frustrated because you feel like your reeds are really inconsistent, this could be a great mouthpiece for you. All right, so enough of me talking. Let's check out how it sounds. So all in all, I think that this is a great mouthpiece. They have several different models with various baffles. The artist models are actually pretty affordable when it comes to the world of saxophone mouthpieces. I think that the artist models are like 188 euros, which is like just over $200. Now you can also have them build you a custom mouthpiece, which is such a cool feature and probably the road I would have gone down if I didn't like this one so much. So you can contact them, you can tell them what you're looking for, they will send you mouthpieces, you can try them, you send them back, you give them feedback. Really a fantastic company, and it really goes along with their name, Shape Your Own Sound. When I was at NAMM, they had a drawer full of probably 20 mouthpieces, from dark to bright, no baffle to a huge screaming baffle, small chamber to large chamber. They had all these different options, and this is the really revolutionary thing about this company, in my opinion, is that you can actually consult with them and they will make you a mouthpiece personalized to your specifications. Whatever you like in a mouthpiece, they will try to deliver that. So all in all, great company that I totally believe in. Check them out, Shape Your Own Sound. The owners are incredible people, really, really awesome folks, and they really, really care about making a quality mouthpiece. So what do you think? Do you own one of these? Do you want to own one of these? Are you going to try one after watching this video review? I highly suggest it. What do you think about it? Do you like the crazy colors? Do you hate the crazy colors? I definitely like them. So make sure we start a discussion below this video and I'll try to answer any questions that you might have about this mouthpiece. Thank you so much for watching. If you can, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can see every video from Nick's Saxophone World as it comes out. Also, give me some suggestions on other gear that you would like to see reviewed. I want to make this a big part of the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye.